in a galaxy far, far away. It happens in this one. And interestingly, one of the phenomena is the Death Star, which is looks like the moon, which is a construct, and which is put into orbit. It's like a spacecraft, and is able to control worlds as a result, and has a devastating weapon capability as well with lasers and what have you. And inside this Death Star are a series of compartments that are in effect a orbiting city or orbiting world inside. And again, when you look at the evidence, I detail it in the book. When the moon has been hit by powerful collisions with various natural or non-natural objects, it's rung like a bell, to quote people at NASA. It's had reverberations going out through it from these impacts, but they don't come back. Because basically, great chunks of the moon is actually hollow. This is where this whole colony is, and it's been traversing not just this part of the universe, but other parts of the universe for a long, long time. That's why they've found stuff on the surface of the moon that's much older than anything found on Earth. This is why they've found moon rocks of a certain estimated age standing in moon dust that is much older, because as it's traveled around the universe, it's picked up different phenomena from different parts that it's gone through. And interestingly, this seems to be a modus operandi. It seems to be the way that this race, serpent race, this aspect of it, takes over worlds in the way that we've been talking about. In fact, I pointed out in the book that Phobos, the moon, or one of the moons orbiting Mars, has been suggested over the years by scientists, if you're going back to the 60s and so forth, that actually it too is a construct. Mm-hmm. And I was sent something yesterday, I haven't fully read through it yet, from the Richard Hoagland website, which is an article about the fact that Mars moon is in fact a construct, and he's not a natural body. What I'm saying is that our moon, our big moon, is exactly the same. It's just a much bigger version of it. And how could anyone build that, or how could anyone hollow that out and call it? Because you're dealing with technological knowledge that is thousands and thousands of years ahead of where we are. And so we have to open our minds to that. Otherwise, we're going to be saying all the time, it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not possible. No, it's not possible for us to do it. It is possible for others to do it, who have a greater understanding of what reality is, and therefore how you can use that knowledge to create things that we can't.
Well, and that being said, I've been chatting with some people here too, David, that have been talking about some different types of technology that's still here on this earth, and we don't even know how to use it. And, these different stones and things that are placed here. We don't even have the technology in this third-dimensional, third-density world, if you will, to create such monuments ourselves, and structures or what have you, because it does not use the same tools, it does not use the same technology. And in order for us to really be able to understand it, we really have to let go of what we think is possible.
Exactly.
We have to.
Exactly. And, these great ancient structures that we would struggle to build today, where rocks of hundreds of tons were moved long distances and put into perfectly formed walls so you couldn't get a cigarette paper between the joins. They were created by this moon race, this serpent moon race. And it's interesting that there's a book I read called Who Built the Moon? Because how it came about was I sat at my computer one day. This has happened so many times in the last 20 years. And suddenly, I'd thought about it here and there over the years, about the moon, but it was just on the back burner. And I sat down in this chair I'm sitting in now about, I don't know, 9 months ago, maybe a bit more. And suddenly it hit me. The moon's not real. The moon is hollow. The moon is a construct, and that's where the Earth is being controlled from. And I'm sitting there, and I kind of had that experience many, many times in different ways. So I wasn't surprised by it, but I thought, whoa, where's that come from? And what I did is I then went on the internet, and I thought, well, I'll just see if there's anything. I was not expecting to find anything. And I found a book called Who Built the Moon, which came out quite a few years ago now, in which these two researchers were looking at the anomalies of the moon and how all the mathematics between, like I said earlier, the moon, the sun, and the Earth are just fantastically synchronistic, unbelievably synchronistic. And one of the things they do is connect the dimensions and synchronicity of the moon to places like Stonehenge and these great megalithic structures. And they ask in the book, how can this synchronicity between the moon and these megalithic structures be so perfect? Why? Because the people in the moon created those structures. And therefore, of course, they were going to synchronize with them. And it's another controversial thing I say in the book. Well, not controversial for everybody, but controversial for a lot of people who are into ancient structures and stone circles and stuff. I say that those stone circles and pyramids, because the reptilians, the serpent gods, are the pyramid builders. That's one of their great calling cards. They instigated stone circles, standing stones, other megalithic structures, pyramids, etc., as part of the suppression of the Earth's natural magnetic system, so that it, again, one expression of it was it lowered the vibrational field that we are living in. It's part of connecting us to the moon matrix. They do it with other ways too, like putting, freeway interchanges on vortex points, by building nuclear power stations on vortex points, by doing anything that will suppress and dilute the power of the Earth's natural meridian energy system, because it's all part of suppressing human capability and human potential. So I say that at least the vast majority of these great megalithic structures and pyramids were put there as to suppress the Earth's energy field and meridian line system as part of this control.
Wow, that's a whole lot there to think about. And we do know from some of the newer revealed archaeological digs that they go in under sacred sites, for an example, and they get in there and they start digging, and they go down and they found 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 civilizations, one built on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, on these sacred sites or energetic sites. So we do know that's been going on. I mean, that's been revealed to us as well. So what you're saying makes total sense when they, you have to look at that. And I look at everything from an energetic viewpoint anyway, David, when I look at it.
Yeah, you have to.
And I look at it and I go, okay, so we're out in the middle of nowhere and then we've built that. Why? Why did you do that? And you go in there and you start looking at the energy signatures, if you will, and you go, oh, that's very, very interesting. So you can see, I mean, for those that are able to sense that, to get out of the third dimensional viewpoint, if you will, if they're able to see that, they're able to go in there and sense it for themselves. And it's very, very well constructed. Like I said, my own guidance, I have a whole thing on my website talking about the constructs. And that's the word that they used to me. My guidance the term was constructs, plural, many of them.
That's exactly the word. And it's a construct. I mean, the virtual reality universe as a whole is a construct, because it's just a creation. It's a creation where people or consciousness experiences different things. But what I call the moon matrix is hacked into that construct and modified it to manipulate human perception, and therefore we